It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello, basketball fans. I'm Ernie Johnson, welcoming you to 2K Sports. I'm here with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. Tonight, we'll be watching the Minnesota Timberwolves playing against the Portland Trailblazers. Taking a look at the Trailblazers, they lost Game 1 in this matchup earlier this season. They'll see them 4 times in all, looking to even the series with a win tonight. Andrew Wiggins making strides in his game last season, scoring from all over the floor now, and more importantly, scoring with efficiency. What was the change you saw, Shaq, in his approach?
Well, I like this kid. He's, Ernie, really a quiet assassin. The three-point shot was clicking for him. Much more space to operate with an outside game. This kid can do it all. Oh, Canada, you better stand on guard for heat.
Oh, I like that.
How come nobody's ever described as a noisy assassin?
Good point, Ernie.
Anyway, back to Andrew Wiggins.
Well, does a good job of drawing fouls as well, getting to the free throw line.
You know what?
Quietly gets to the free throw line.
You know what we also did?
What's
Anytime
that?
you get the guy to start the music early, you know you've done your job.
There it is.
So send it to Kevin Harlan.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Home court belongs to the Timberwolves in this one as we bring you a Western Conference matchup here live from the Target Center in Minneapolis. Well, before you look ahead to your busy week, sit down, relax, pull up a chair as we bring you another NBA broadcast. And thanks for sharing part of your weekend with us. With Greg Anthony, Chris Webber, and David Aldridge, Kevin Harlan. And we have a surprise guest, folks. Here he is, the 4-time All-NBA First-Teamer, MVP. Defensive Player of the Year, NBA champion, which is probably most happy about, most proud of, Kevin Garnett. Thanks so much for joining us for the game.
Man, thank you for having me, man. Shout out to 2K. You know what it is, 2K? Right. OBF all day, you know? Yeah.
Now, you can't play 2K while we're doing 2K.
No, we can't. We can't play it right now, but I'm waiting. Shout to Shaq on this cover. Shout to my dog, Shaq. That's dope. That's what's up. Gas Shaq is on there. Right. Love that. That's what's up. Diesel deserves it, man. That's what's up.
And, of course, Seth Curry. This game for him, just his second game with his new team. Still a feeling out period for him right now.
Man, that trade is something that has just electrified this entire fan base, the players, the people working for the organization. They think it may be that piece of the puzzle necessary to finally get this team over the hump.
And David Aldridge is standing by for our pregame report. David, good evening.
Thank you, Kevin. Now, Jimmy Butler survived a tough upbringing in Tomball, Texas. He said, that's all anybody ever wanted to talk about. But I don't want that to define me. If I'm stuck in the past, then I won't get any better. I won't change. I'll get stuck as that kid. That's not who I am. I'm a great basketball player because of my work. Guys?
Thanks, David. You can tell Butler has a good head on his shoulders, an elite talent in this league because of the hard work he puts in. Kevin, you were always known as wanting to play and always wanting to practice. You were a gym rat. What did you do when a coach would ask you maybe to take a breather? Let's sit out this game. Let's rest up. Would you welcome that? Would you just say, I'll let you know when I can't go? Or how would you handle that situation?
You know what? I've always asked the coach to respect the way I get ready for games. I've always asked him to respect the way I approach the game. I've always asked the coach to respect me and my expertise in knowing my body. I'm very, very vocal. Listen, if one person needs rest, and it's me, I know how to raise my hand. I know how to say I need some rest. But, you know, I'm a person who likes to push through a lot of things. I'm a person who understands rest, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, I'm a person who understands that practice makes perfect. And if I can work on something for as long as I can to make something better, because I know at the end when I need it, especially when I dial, I used to call it dial up. When I call, I need the answer.
All right, let's set the floor, courtesy of Gatorade. All fueled up and ready to go. On the floor for Portland, the incredible pair of Lillard and McCollum are at the 1 and 2. Aminu and Nurkic up front, and it's Turner in at the 3. Wiggins. Aminu grabs the miss. Minnesota on D. It's a 3-point game. And KG, 2 decades later, you still look the same. You don't age. You do not. Do not age.
Man, listen, I wish I could use the Beyonce. I woke up like this, but actually I woke up like this and worked out some more, and then worked out a little more to look like this.
You look terrific.
You look great too, man. What's the secrets, man?
I'm following you, watching your advice.
Yeah, right. You've been doing this way, man. Ken, what year is this for you, seriously?
Broadcast in the NBA. 20 years and then 12 years with 2K.
You're a beast, man. You know what I love about 2K, man? They bring the best in for the best. You understand, my dude?
That's why we've got you. But Kevin, you play this game a lot, don't you? Man, especially when you were young.
Man, listen, man. 2K is it, bro. There's no other games out here. This is what it is. If you play basketball, if you online, nobody's playing nothing else. This is it.
Yeah.
2K is the cream of the crop. It's the gang. They know what it is. It's lit. They know what it is. Seriously, they got to do this. They know.
Here's Lillard. Following the basket by Andrew Wiggins. Hits. Count that one from Nurkic. Kevin, what a lot of fans don't get to see is all the work players do behind the scenes at home, before games, after games, on off days. Can you talk a little bit about that? Getting your body ready from the end of one game to play the next game. I mean, I've seen it, but you talk about it.
Yeah, the wellness starts right after you stop playing. The minute you come off the court, you're iced. You got to do progressions where right after the game, you shower. Obviously, you got to get massages. You got to get some type of wellness on your legs, just because you're running so much. People don't know that you have to lift weights. When we was in Boston, we lift every other day. We had a strenuous strength program. Shout out to B-Do. Brian Du, who's our strength coach up there, never let us get a day off. And if you didn't lift weights, then we find you as a players. Players find you. Because it's important for you to come in here and be strong. We need everybody to be as strong as they can be. So you have to lift. And then actually, you practice. But after practice, you have to put time into your own personal game.
Right. So much goes into it. It's amazing. That gives them the lead. Gibson's got his first 2 points of the night.
Well, look at that. That's just a great all-around play. Getting into position for the offensive rebound. Finishing strong on the putback.
Lillard against T. There's the feed to Aminu from 12 feet out, and Karl Anthony Towns pulls it down. Timberwolves have gone 50% from the field, hitting 3 of 6 since the opening tip. Just under 3.5 minutes gone here in the first quarter. Gibson the screen. Butler attacking. And Gibson kicks to Butler. And a wide open look here for Wiggins. The shot's good on the assist by Butler. Wiggins has got 5.
Oh, great ball movement there.
Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time taking the lid off.
They set the pick. Nurkic the pass to Lillard. Aminu, no one around him. And he sinks that one, hitting the back of the rim on the way in. And KG, talk about how the greats can just impose their will.
It's almost like another level. Yeah. When you see LeBron, what he did to Detroit in that fourth quarter, that's a blackout. You don't know what you're doing. When you see Cole go for 81, when you see Chauncey come down on a 1, these players are blacking out. These are elite players in elite moments, taking the moment. Paul Pierce is one of the best that I've ever seen grab a moment and savor it and just put it in slow-mo. And nothing speeding them up. Special players. But I get a front row seat of seeing that. Ray Allen, the same thing. Had a great composure about himself to slow himself down and hit pressure shots. Tim Duncan, same thing.
5 to shoot. Lays it up and banks it in. Aminu's got his second basket of the night. And Kevin, your last couple years, you got to mentor some young players. Karl Anthony Towns comes to mind. How good do you think he can be?
Man, Cat is the next. He is what I call the next of the next. Yes, he has the pedigree. He has the work ethic. He has the IQ. Most importantly, the desire. When you talk about players being better, I always like to think about if players know history. He understands history. He's been here before. If you follow him through his high school years, he's always wanted to be an anchor. He's always wanted to be a very informative person. He looks for knowledge. He seeks a lot of knowledge. He wants to know what he's up against as far as history. Who am I chasing? What's his number? How many rebounds did he get? What did he do his rookie year? That's what's driving him.
Minnesota leading by 3. Teague dishes to Towns. Wiggins drives in. And Gibson wide open. He shoots. That falls. Nice feed that time from Wiggins. Wiggins has got his 3rd assist on the night. Portland's gone 1 of 3 from beyond the arc so far in the game. You talk about Karl-Anthony Towns and his willingness to learn. You can't be great, I don't think, Kev, if you're not curious. And I always thought that was one of your best qualities. You were always curious.
Listen, I was super curious, and I always chased that curiosity. Not only that, I started to put the work ethic with that. If you don't put those things together, well, I would always tell him, be humble. Don't ever get to the point where your arrogance, starts to take over. Let your arrogance be on the court and what you're doing and how you're playing. Control your breathing. The young fella has a lot of good bones. I love his makeup. I love the fact that I had a year with him to teach him perspective, to teach him mentality, to teach him that you got to come in here and work on this every day. And the day that you don't, someone has advantage. He pushes himself. Karl-Anthony Towns he's from the pedigree, man. He's one of them ones. I like to think that he's under the umbrella. He's one of my young brothers, man.
He hasn't been very precise at all this quarter.
It's Butler that time on the assist by Wiggins. And now it's a 9-point Minnesota lead.
Fruitful possession, just doing what they can to extend the lead.
And that's what you have to do. Stay in the moment. Keep grinding.
So timeout called here, the first for Portland. Last time they came together was in Minnesota, where they fell to the Wolves.
Yeah, and looking back at their last game against this club, they were badly out-rebounded.
Whole new look on the floor for Minnesota. And people may not know, KG, that you're not just a broadcaster for 2K, but you're a member of the 2K community.
Have you been keeping up with the community, man?
Oh, yeah, very much so.
Man, listen, shout out to all the 2K players out there. I'm Jizzle Lord. Y'all know what it is. I'm Jizzle Lord 5. Shout out to my OBF team. Y'all know what it is. Shout out to Dex. Shout out to Bug. Shout out to everybody out there playing.
Wow.
Right. We definitely.
Wow.
It's all good. I'm OBF. I'm about the team. I'm gang. You know what it is. Jizzle Lord. Y'all holler at me. Y'all know what it is, 2K. Right.
Now here's Curry against New Orleans, who is really on his game. Clock at 6. Stauskas' shot is off. Looking at the Trailblazers, they took the last win in their last game against New Orleans. Kevin, coming out of high school, you were relatively mature for your age, as 17 turning 18, but do you ever regret not trying college and just seeing what that experience would have been like? I mean, it's such a long time ago, but you've had some chance probably to get some perspective on both sides of that story.
You know what, Kev? I look at it like the unknown is the unknown. Obviously, I've had friends that went to college. Some of my best friends went to college. And I think I've kind of lived it through them a little bit. Listen, when you have responsibility early in life.
Which you did.
Which I did.
Yes.
And, so from a mature level, things that interest me are not that interesting as you get older, especially when you have to deal with a vigorous schedule of an NBA schedule. I wasn't able to, be the 17, 18-year-old to chill, have, lean on the parents a little bit, be able to be at home. Coming home through the weekends, I had a real life that I was responsible for, and I was growing something. I was building something. I was trying to not just be a young player in our league, but a young businessman, wanting to establish something for myself, my friends, my family. You can't do those things thinking like a normal 17, 18-year-old. You're taking pieces from grown men around you all the time. You're around people who need something all the time. At some point, you have to put all this together, and you have to make it work for you, and you have to put your spin on it for how it works for you and your brand, and you have to be innovative with that. You have to be creative with that. You have to have a vision.
Wow, yeah, there's a lot to consider. There's a screen. He dishes it to Curry. Off the mark, and the drought continues.
And already they've staked out a noticeable advantage in terms of aggression and controlling the backdoor.
And KG, so great to see you. It takes me back. It really does.
A lot of people don't know, man. We got real original ties, man.
Back to the beginning.
95, man. My original man right here.
Here he was, man. You were a thrill a minute, I'll tell you that.
Man,
a thrill a minute.
Now look at us. 21 years later, dog. Man, can you believe
We're still
this?
standing.
We are. They haven't caught on yet. Don't say anything.
Okay.
Keep that between us.
Okay.
And had the right idea there in calling for the screen, but he was just slow to get to the spot and didn't get set.
Yeah, as a big fella, that's the thing, Greg. You got to be quick in setting those screens. If you get a little lazy, you get called for it.
Now here's Rose. Looking at his point production, he averages almost 11 points a game. Here's Patton. Swanigan pulls it in.
A hand right in his face on the layup. Excellent defense that time in the paint.
And Kevin, you've recently gotten a chance to do more TV. Your show Area 21 has been tremendous, and the critics love it. Talk about this chapter of your career.
Well, it was something that I wasn't planning on, but, Turner brought me a great concept, and it fit the mold of what any man cave is, and that's really what it is. But the fact that we can go in, watch games on multiple channels, see multiple games, articulate it, give it from a perspective of a player, coming fresh out of this generation of players, giving understanding to this generation of players is very important because these players now are very different. Teaching these young players, still being mentors of these players, very important. And still loving this game. It's still a beautiful game. Man, the game is growing. I'm watching these kids do all types of different stuff, man. The creativity in our game now is so heightened. So, yeah, I'm having a bunch of fun, which is one thing I never forgot the piece of advice you've always told me, man. So continue to enjoy what you do, and it'll show. And I'm hoping that I'm making you proud of that, Kay. I'm enjoying what I'm doing, man.
You're an incredible ambassador to all of those things. The game, the fun of life.
Right.
You capture a lot of the fun of life.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I'm enjoying it. So, hopefully it shows.
And here is Harkless after Tyus Jones getting his shot to go from deep. And the foul called on Tyus Jones. That's his first foul. Kevin, of all the people you've faced, who is the toughest guy for you to score against down low? Let's pick that geography. Who is the toughest to score against down there?
Listen, I know a lot of people. I've always said Rasheed Wallace. I've always said Tim Duncan. They're probably the two that brought a different level of play out of me. But shout out to Cliff Robinson, man. Cliff Robinson, I don't know if people know this, but Cliff Robinson, man. Cliff Robinson was one of the better defenders in the post. He was very strong. He was very long. He didn't go for any counters. He was very disciplined. He was well prepared because he was a veteran. The refs let him get away with a lot, touching and grabbing. He knew when to be physical in some positions. He knew to do what we call work early. He would meet you at the three-point line, and he would be fighting you, and you would post up probably like a step outside the three-point line. Like, he was really good at some of his techniques and how he was able to control the post. After Cliff left the game, I watched a lot of his tape, and I took a lot of his
no kidding.
I had to, because it was so effective against me that I was able to use it against other post players on the defensive end.
I never knew that story.
Dennis Rodman was another guy I watched a lot. Akeem Olajuwon I watched a lot because these guys were laterally very similar to my makeup. Akeem Olajuwon was long. He was able to laterally move with you. I was laterally able to move with guards and able to laterally to slide with some of the forwards and some of the more laterally gifted power forwards. And with that, able to get my feet together, being able to block shots, challenge the rim, stuff like that. Things that, if you're going to get better at something, you got to go and reach and find the great ones that did it before you and take it, and then I was able to apply it, and I did those things.
Here's Harkless. Tyus Jones picking up that last basket. And the foul called on Tyus Jones. That's foul number 2 for him. Here's Stauskas. He's coming off a 10-point game against the Pelicans in New Orleans. Curry against Jones. 4 on the clock. Here's Stauskas.
And so far, having trouble converting on the inside.
Off target at the rim.
And on the glass so far, it hadn't even been close.
And the officials now calling the shooting foul. He got a lot of ball on the block, but also got the body, so some free throws coming up right now. The Timberwolves have been perfect at the line so far, albeit just 2 for 2. And that one misses. And the second free throw, good. 41 seconds left in the first. They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've gone a long time without a bucket.
There's the pick. Harkless kicks to Stauskas. Pass to Curry. 6 on the shot clock. Lets it go with a 3. Curry with another miss.
Maybe he should look to pass the ball right now and get his teammates involved, because right now his shot's not falling. He's ice cold.
.11 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Collins a screen on Rose. Pass to Swanigan. 4 seconds left. The offensive rebound. Here's Collins. And so it's the Minnesota Timberwolves with a 19-point advantage heading into the next quarter. Their defense has been active and effective. And we'll be right back after this. And now a chance to hear from point guard Damian Lillard as he explains his stoic demeanor on the floor.
I was taught to, never let anybody see how you feel. I kind of just embraced it, for my entire life. Just, you wouldn't know if something was going on in my life or not, because as long as I'm taking care of business and doing what I need to be doing, that's all that matters.
I would say we probably shouldn't expect to see Lillard starring in any reality shows about his personal life.
Lillard is a young man who is all about taking care of business.
Well, not exactly a close game so far, but as the second quarter starts here, plenty of time for a comeback. And guys, we've seen a confident-looking Timberwolves team out there.
I think they play great D and not giving up anything easy early on.
Yeah, closing down the lane, closing out on perimeter shooters. Interesting first quarter.
Patton out there with Anthony Tolliver. Then there's Derrick Rose. Then it's Jones. And it's Jang in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. That's the 5 to begin the second quarter for the Timberwolves. Kevin, with intentional fouling, with poor free throw shooters being sent to the line currently, the Hacka Drummond, Hacka Shaq, all this stuff, Hacka DeAndre Jordan. Yeah. What are your thoughts on all that?
You know what? I like it. You know what it's going to do? It's
part of the strategy?
It's going to put the strategy, and this is part of it. And you know what you got to do? It's going to make all those guys you just named work on their free throw. Because if any advantage that you have in the game, coaches are going to expose it. Coaches are going to expose all weak points, as they should, as any sport, and as any great is going to expose any weaknesses in defenses. He's going to look to expose those things. So this is one of the things that dictates the game, and these guys are going to have to be better. It's going to push them. It's going to make them better players.
An even 3-on-3 break. Here's Harkless, and Harkless slams it in.
And that's how you make a steal count. Turn it into a quick slam at the other end.
It was really a case, it looked like Greg Anthony right there, if I can say so. It was really a case of a great defensive play triggering some instant offense.
Oh, well, that's because it was terrific anticipation. Also, the quick hands, a lethal combination.
Looking at who's out there now for the Timberwolves. Towns, he's checked in for Patton. Wiggins comes in for Anthony Tolliver. Butler, he's checked in for Derrick Rose. And it's Teague in for Jones.
Mind the lanes. One shot.
The free throw off from Harkless. Kevin, growing up watching the game of basketball, who were some of your earliest influences?
My early influences in the game of basketball was Magic Johnson, obviously Michael Jordan, and then Chris Webber. Chris Webber, Malik City was kind of like the younger generation of my inspiration. Yeah. St. John's was one of the destinations. Michigan was one of my college destinations. So those guys were my natural inspirations early on when I was young.
Yeah. All right, let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Thanks, Kevin. Hey, the Portland Trailblazers are developing a great chemistry for a young team. Damian Lillard takes the team to San Diego every September for bonding purposes, and he told me how much we like each other, how much time we spend around each other. That shows you a team that is really together. It is a unit. We have each other's back. Kevin?
And it's critical to establish camaraderie early on. Thank you, D.A. Sounds like Lillard has this team headed in the right direction. Kevin, we've all seen the evolution of the perimeter-style offense. Do you think it'll ever go so far that we'll see the game come back to an inside-oriented offensive scheme?
I think right now that with pace being the way it is now, Kev, I don't see it necessarily going through or going back to playing through the post. Although you have to have an alternative. I think that you just can't be all three-pointers and layups. I think you have to have a constant flow of inside-outside. I think it helps to have a post player. I think having a post player or a true post player that can score and dominate the middle opens up threes and opens up ball movement.
You played during the transition, too, didn't you? From a grinded-out type of game inside to the spacing that we have now.
I did, and I'd like to say that, you know, Doc Rivers started the small ball, and, you know, we were very, very keen on the small ball. So I think in today's game, you got to be able to shoot the three now and be able to handle the ball and put the ball on the floor and make decisions. So it shows that the game is transforming.
Taj Gibson's checked in for Jang. Timberwolves leading by 21. Hey, Kevin, when you play with Andrew Wiggins, you saw firsthand just how explosive he can be. What impresses you most about where he is right now and where he could go?
Man, Andrew's potential is through the roof. I've told him this countless times that when he wants to, he can. There's nothing that he can't do. It's just about his consistency and how he sees that, man. I told him, man, the world is his. I've yet to see a player in our league that has the athletic ability that he has, mixed with the IQ and being able to be players on both sides of the ball if he wants to. This kid is super long. He's fast. He's deceptionally fast. Like, I don't think people know how fast he really is. Great shooter, has a great IQ, not a good IQ, a great IQ. I told him, man, you know, I would like to see him with a little more oomph in his step. But if you know Drew, he's laid back. He's super cool. He's smooth with it, and his game reminds you of Steve Smith and when Smitty used to, you know, rock people to sleep. He has a very good patience to his game.
Here's Towns following the score by Damian Lillard. And Teague has it in the corner. 6 on the shot clock. Goes back up. Towns, no luck.
He loses concentration at the moment of truth and blows the layup.
Lillard, the pass to McCollum. And he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. And, Kevin, do you think you gravitate towards those young players because you were in their shoes at one time as a very, very young player in this league?
A little bit, but more importantly, I see it. I see it in him. I see it that if he pushed through a little bit and, you know
it. You spot it.
Absolutely, because you know what you see in young talent, you see it when it's there. When it's right in your face, like, holy, here, go get a rebound, put it back, dunk the ball, steal it, dunk it, come back down, and then be like, huh? You know, I often wonder how much Drew is actually stimulated. You know, he gets bored very easily, but when he turns it on, he is one of the best, and he's going to be one of the best in our league to come.
Well said.
Well, in every season, Lillard seems to up the ante. He continues to hone his craft. He's a special, special point guard.
And he makes both free throws. Kevin, we see some coaches get extremely emotional on the sideline. Others take a more even-keeled approach, more calm on the sideline. Which coaching style would you prefer to play for when you were in your prime? Did you want a coach who was animated, or did you want a coach that was just kind of settled on the sideline?
You know what? I like the coach that was settled on the sideline. You know, I like to think that great coaches are going to be able to coach you in practice, and then during the games, you know, it's about the product and what you put out on the floor. You know, coaches that have understanding, coaches that have vision, coaches that understand the game, understand that it's a game of runs, know that it's a game of momentum, and have plays for those momentums and those times are coaches that I've always gravitated to and understood.
Like Doc was kind of in between, wasn't he? Little bit of emotion, but he could also have a calm demeanor on that side.
Doc was on fire. I'm sorry. Doc, there was nothing calming about Doc.
I'm trying to cover Doc's back here.
No, shout out to Doc. Doc will rip your head off if you wasn't supposed to. But you know what? You need to play with that edge. You needed to know that if you wasn't in your spot, 1 through 15, you understood that you were supposed to be there, and it's good to play with that. I think that you don't want to be out there playing like, this is no big deal. Every play is a big deal, and no play absolutely. And you know what? That severity, and you play with that importance, and knowing that you're playing for the next guy. So that's important.
Gibson with the steal. Lillard against Teague. Passes to Towns. That's good, and so Teague with the assist. Towns has got 8 here in the quarter. Kevin, you accomplished everything individually as a teammate. Anything that you wish you would have done, any player that you wish you would have played with, any regret in that form that lingers with you in retirement?
No, nothing lingers. Obviously, you sit back and think about, I would love to play with Kobe for a year, or got to, team, at least play in the U.S.
You had a chance to. Wasn't there like a rumor at one time?
Yeah, it was.
Going to the Lakers?
Well, my connection with Paul was just the opportunity when I waited.
Yeah.
And it's what it was. But,
and you wouldn't have traded the Paul Pierce thing for anything?
No, I wouldn't have, because Paul and I are true brothers. The connection, and then the team, Ray, my connection with Doe and then Doc and all that. So I wouldn't have given that up for anything. But if I could have played with one person, probably would have been Cole. Summertime, I say USA because that's when you get to play with each other and all that, and you get to kind of beat up on everybody else and be USA or whatever. So that would have been super fun. But it's all good. Shout to Mama, you know what it is. But I have no regrets, man. I left everything on the floor. I enjoy watching the game more than ever now, dog. I'm not even going to front. I enjoy having my popcorn, my little ritual, my boys, and we sit back and we watch the game. I'm loving the game.
Yeah.
And they're hitting the long-range shots that they were missing in the first quarter, but still have ground to make up.
Butler kicks to Towns. Nurkic with the steal. Here's McCollum. And McCollum with the slam.
Gotta respect the speed of McCollum. Fantastic at knifing through the defense and beating them to the bucket.
Timberwolves leading by 19 points. And Kev, you think of the great ones. You, Kobe, Jordan. Timmy, yeah, how about him? They worked harder than anybody else, Kevin.
And what you learn is that the similarity or the parallel that you all have is an inner animal that you never speak about. We're all a little off. We're all a little dark, but that's what pushes you through pain. That's what pushes you through tough moments. When someone says you can't, when someone says this is not possible, this is unreal, no one's ever done it, that's the moment you're looking for. The moment someone told Kobe that he couldn't get over 50, 60, something Jordan couldn't do, he was driven in that. If Phil wouldn't have stopped him, he probably would have reached 100 points.
He probably would have, yeah.
He did Will Chamberlain a favor, and that's just real. He was in that type of mode. We all share that passion. We all share that drive, and the ones that have that inner darkness, we all understand.
It's like a split personality, huh?
It's almost like another level.
Yeah. No good again that time. Trailblazers trail by 17. Outside Turner. Here's Lillard. And he gets that one to go off the front iron. Lillard's got 14 points for the game. Kevin, you were so successful jumping from high school to pros. What do you think about the current situation now, the age of 19, the minimum to go to the draft?
I'm always be a fan of the younger kids being able to have the opportunity. I don't like when you put parameters. I could see if college was really teaching these kids and really giving them a solid situation to be able to have something to defer to. But, these kids are not learning at the rate that you would like them to learn in college. And plus, they're not staying in college to these great institutions to be able to apply some of the things they're learning. So I just think that they need...
They're basketball players.
They're basketball players, but they should have the opportunity to take advantage of if you're able to play at 17, 18 like I was. Not saying that every kid's going to have that, but you have obviously the D-League. You have all these multiple leagues throughout the world and where kids go to play. You know, some kids have missed out just because of that 1 year and some mishaps. And you sit here and you can say, you know, for business is good for this. Listen, the business is what it's going to be. We need to develop and have these kids be professionals more than anything. We need to grow these kids from a skill level and an appetite level. Our game was built off for one to be better than the ones that's come before us. You know what I'm saying? Lou Alcindor came in here. He was, a.k.a. obviously Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He was more encouraged to beat out Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell more than anything. And then that starts to trickle down from the effect of from Jordan wanting to be better than Larry Bird and Magic to Cole wanting to be better than, you know, it's the same thing. It's being trickled down. And when I think of greatness, I think, you know, it's going to follow. It's going to be shadows, and at some point it's going to mimic.
I love the versatile offensive game of Lillard. He has so many moves and his shots in his arsenal.
And that replay brought to us by Under Armour. Another Unleash Chaos moment. One of the more exciting plays in basketball. Hatton, and down it goes, jamming that one home.
And nobody, guys, among the defenders stepping up to challenge him on that drive to the 10.
And Greg, he says, thank you very much, and sails in for the flush.
But it's surprising, Kev, to see so little urgency on the defensive side, especially with them losing this game right now.
For the Trailblazers, Collins checked in for Yusuf Nurkic, and Harkless is subbed in for Turner. And Kevin, welcome to the 2K team. I didn't realize how much you love NBA 2K.
Oh, man, you know 2K is always live, man. I'm a super fan. Man, this game is going all over the place, bro. Like, seriously, like... I'm geeked to see what's next, man. They got everything down. I'm sitting here watching all the little small intangibles that come with the game. I'm watching the game grow. I'm watching how better players are getting. I'm watching the online play, man. It's lit. It's lit. I can't wait to see this.
Here's Towns after the Trailblazers pick up 2. Collins grabs the miss.
And you know what? You can't get a better screen. Frees him up beautifully, but he just fails to capitalize.
The best laid plans, right? Well, I tell you right there, though, that's one they'll take every single time.
And so here's Portland. After the miss from Karl Anthony Towns, clock at 4. And that one, good. Lillard's got 18 points in the game. Kevin, it's been said that some guys hated to play against you. Is there someone you hated to play against for whatever reason?
No.
You enjoyed every jump.
I enjoyed every competitor because on the offensive side of the ball, I was always challenged when to use counters or what type of moves I was using. I took a lot of pride in having a variety of moves for different types of defenses. And each guy is going to bring out a different side of the offense in you. And then turning around and then being that defender and being able to guard the post player or the post or whatever the post player was or whatever. Rasheed Wallace was always a tough guard. Tim Duncan was always a tough guard. Zach Randolph was always a tough guard. Chris Webber, Dice, Karl Malone.
Great names. The shot by Harkless, no good. Timberwolves leading by 13. Kicks it to Towns. And the dunk by Towns.
And that was the play to make. Rose making the right read.
Portland's gone 2 of 4 from three-point range so far in the second quarter. They set the screen. Here's Harkless. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. And a chance to now check out the scoring distribution between the front court and the back court players tonight for Portland.
And their guards really have done what they could to keep it close. What little offense they've been able to generate has come from the backcourt. They just need a little more balance.
2 shots.
The first one falls.
Yeah, in this quarter, they've had the right approach, driving and drawing, initiating contact, create opportunities, get to the line.
And the Timberwolves making a change here. Zhang's checked in, and the Trailblazers making a change here as well. Curry's checked in. Harkless hits them both.
and didn't have a single free throw in that first quarter, but he started to play with a little bit more of an edge to his game here in the second.
KG, I know you can't stay any longer. You've got to move on, but we appreciate your time, and it's always great to see you.
Kev, anytime, man. It's great to see you, man. Anytime you need me, you let me know, man. I'm yours.
Former MVP, Defensive Player of the Year and champion, Kevin Garnett. What a treat it is, Greg, to have KG with us. Always offers so much insight. Played the game for an amazing 21 seasons.
Yeah, you know, when he first entered the league, everybody was wowed by the athleticism. But what became more apparent really early on were the instincts for which he had for the game. And that's what he brings, I feel like, to the broadcast.
Trailblazers trail by 11. Outside Curry. Harkless with it. He's got 6. And he got the whistle, so he'll have a three-point play opportunity.
They should continue to get the ball inside. The defense struggling to contain them.
The Trailblazers shooting their 7th attempt at the foul line in this one.
And as a unit, they're shooting 78% from the line. That's a solid number to work with on the season.
And that one misses. Timberwolves leading by 9.
And this is where you milk the clock.
You're exactly right. No reason to give your opponent another crack at this. It's all you.
And they've repeatedly probed inside in the first half, guys, and it's paid off.
The pass to Swanigan. Elbow shot is on the way. No good on that one.
The defense there got away with a major lapse.
It's been all about Karl Anthony Towns for Minnesota. Between his points and his rebounds, he was a star for him in that quarter. It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Kevin, thank you. Andrew, the energy and effort were apparent throughout that first half. How were you able to do it?
We had a good practice, you know, working hard, really putting things together. Keep doing that, we can come out with a W.
Hey, thanks for your time. We appreciate it. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David, for that interview, and we'll see you back here after the break for third quarter basketball.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
And what a show being put on here for the home fans tonight. I'm Ernie Johnson, along with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. It was a fast pace for Minnesota at the outset. They literally played out of their minds and had a stretch going that gave them a 19-point advantage. At the end of the first quarter, they found themselves way out on top. In quarter number 2, their well-earned cushion began to dissipate, but they still scored enough to go into the half up by double digits. And Shaq, what do you think about what we saw from Minnesota?
Well, what's really shifted the game in their favor has been their rebounding. They got a good edge on the boards, and that's a product of their hard work. All 5 guys been battling, putting everything they have to fight on the glass. That needs to remain the focus for 2 more quarters if they want to hang on to that lead.
Kenny, let's get your insight on Portland.
They ran into a buzzsaw, and it was on full blast. And once they fell behind, the crowd got into it, and it seemed that they lost a lot of confidence. They started pressing, forcing things, and it made it worse. So in the second half, relax, man. Just remember, there's 2 more quarters. It's a fresh start.
So that'll do it for now as we send you courtside with Kevin Harlan and the rest of the 2K crew for the start of the second half.
We come back to Minnesota now with a striking look at the 10th Avenue Bridge, downtown Minneapolis, off in the distance. And as we begin the second half, first half wasn't even close, guys, and we'll see if there is a comeback on our hands or more of the same as we get the third quarter started. We're seeing a tremendous game from Damian Lillard.
And through the first 2 periods, it seemed he got to the paint whenever he wanted to, just a slasher's mentality.
Yeah, when you're trying to check a guy like that, you have to move your feet laterally, defensively. That didn't happen.
Well, we're getting back to the action now. It's been a one-team show so far. We'll see if that changes here in the third. Well, we see so many of these players, Chris, in the NBA reach notoriety very early in their careers, sometimes even while they're still in high school. What was it like growing up as a star athlete and all the hype that surrounds it? You were the #1 high school player in the country coming out.
Well, you have to stay focused. You know, I didn't grow up in this era of social media and everything. I can only imagine that pressure now, but really you have to stay focused. You have to realize that you're just in the middle of your goal. You're not a celebrity or a star yet, no matter how good you are on that level. Everybody in the NBA has been the best player on their team at some point in time, so things are going to even it out. You have to stay focused, stay goal-oriented in school and in sports, and hopefully the best things will happen. And if you're lucky, like I was, you have some real good people around you, whether family or friends.
Yeah, good mentors, right? That's got to be important.
Yeah, you definitely got to have good mentors, whether it's coaches that can encourage you to spend all your time on the court, or whether it's friends and family that encourage you to stay focused and not kind of get caught up with others that may not have a focus or a love or a passion right now. So you just really need good people. It takes a village, and for guys that are feeling so much fame and getting so many accolades at such a young age, it's hard to handle as an adult. Just imagine trying to handle that as a kid. So you definitely need a lot of good people around you in your corner to help you succeed in life.
On the court right now for the Trailblazers, Lillard and McCollum, the star-studded backcourt. Aminu and Nurkic up front, and it's Turner in at the small forward position. And we've got an update here, so let's check in with David Aldridge reporting from the sideline.
Well, Kevin, Karl Anthony Towns was voted by GMs last season as the player they most want to build a franchise around. But he is not resting on his laurels. He said, "I work hard on my game. I want to be the strongest player, the most intelligent player, and the most skilled player on the court at all times." Kevin?
Thanks, David. That work ethic will definitely help Towns get better. He's already a dynamite player. Here's Turner after the made shot from Jeff T. And it goes out of bounds. That one off Turner.
Talk about ugly. I mean, no pressure being put on him, and he sails the pass right out of bounds.
Minnesota leading by 13. Gibson the screen. Butler kicks to Wiggins. Goes up off the pit.
Whoa! Goodness. And this sort of awesome dunk is one of the reasons this team is in charge of this game.
Well, there's a swagger out there. You can see it on the court that they possess and are not afraid to show it either. And so here's Portland following the bucket by the Timberwolves. Here's Nurkic. Offensive rebound. Aminu dishes to McCollum. Can't get the putback.
Just a solid performance on the interior. The rebounding has been off the charts.
That one goes. Count it. 11 points for Jimmy Butler.
And beginning to pull away. Really effective play calling halfway through this one.
Well, they figured out what's working, and that's what they're going to keep hammering on.
Time called here. The Blazers decide to talk it over. They defeated the Pelicans in their last game.
And anytime you come off the bench, you know your role. And that night, it was about scoring.
Well, on the road, you need as many contributors as you can find. The reserves definitely helped fuel the win that time.
And a moment now to see some numbers for Damian Lillard. Averaging about 23 points per, 6 assists, and 2 rebounds. With him, you get so much, but his ability to lead the way with his scoring, probably his best attribute.
An offensive juggernaut. I mean, he can just beat you in so many ways. You got to give it up for him. The bounce pass is the ticket there. Very nice assist.
T kicks to Gibson. Wiggins against Turner. The dish to Towns. To the inside. Nurkic with the block. Butler against McCollum. And Lillard kicks to Turner. Just over 3.5 minutes through the third quarter of play now. And the rejection by Towns.
And his foot movement is what makes Towns such a terrific shot blocker. He moves so well and can defend just about any position on the floor.
McCollum outside. Portland moving the ball around. Turner with the screen. Feeds to Nurkic. Knocked loose. Gibson with the steal. Left side, Butler. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
And Butler always aggressive.
2 shots,
a
gentlemen.
threat to pick up fouls whenever he's going up with his shot. And watching Jimmy Butler, he just offers so much on offense from a scoring standpoint. You know, obviously he can get to the rack and draw the defense to him. Also really improved his ability to knock it down from beyond. Just a complete offensive player.
2 shots.
First one falls for him. And Greg, as you said, Butler is a threat to score from any part of the floor.
It's a bit of a dying art, though, hitting that mid-range jump shot. Butler also does a great job of getting to the line. That's increased over the course of his career. Just a well-rounded offensive player.
And he makes the first but misses the second.
And Butler is a true leader, a guy his teammates look up to, and one of the best in our game.
Shoots, and the rejection by Towns.
The edge on the glass is the difference. It's allowed them to build this lead.
And now running up the court, Lillard pushing it up. And he gets it to go.
He's one of the guys having a solid game for them, but as a whole, they've been lacking. And Damian Lillard, the originator of 4 Bar Friday. Last season, he released the letter O, his album. Features some pretty big names.
One shot, mind the lanes.
Free throw good, Damian Lillard. And Lillard with his own music label, he enjoys spending time in the recording studio.
Yeah, music, hip-hop, and basketball and sports go hand in hand. I mean, his high school coach was also a music producer. So Damian and his teammates had a chance to get in the studio at a young age. Before games, during warm-ups, they play their songs. I mean, that's what athletes do. That's where it all started.
Every time they get scored on during this run, it's come from inside the paint.
Screen by Nurkic. Inside, Towns with the steal. Here's Butler. That falls. Nice feed that time from Wiggins. Wiggins has got assist number 7 for him tonight. Looking at the last game for the Minnesota Timberwolves, it was a win against New York.
You're going to win a lot of games when you can shoot the 3 ball the way they did in that one.
Oh, yeah, once they started hitting, it was like an avalanche, even as the defense extended farther and farther out.
And finished off by Nurkic. Great game for him, double-double now. 10 points and 10 rebounds.
Oh, Kev, he put some anger behind that one.
You're telling me. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Damian Lillard. That's his first foul.
Yeah, that's a tough call right there, and really a tough break for the D.
Jang, he's checked in for Taj Gibson. And Portland with a change here, too. Seth Curry, he's checked in for Lillard. Teague against Curry. Dishes it to Butler. Clock at 6. Jang, high post. The Timberwolves need to get a shot off here. And Towns gets it to go.
That's their 3rd straight make off an assist.
Trailblazers trail by 19. Here's Curry. He gives the team some steady offense, a bit under 10 points a game. Nurkic, the pass to McCollum. Shot clock at 6. The floater and the rejection by Towns.
And another miss. Ooh, he's having a really ugly game.
Yeah, about as ugly as you can have, you're right.
Defensively, this is what you know. He's coming off a hot game and looking to keep it rolling.
Yeah, but here's the problem. They play team ball. So if you pay him too much attention, that just leaves other guys open and is too difficult of an adjustment to make.
Derrick Rose is checked in for the Timberwolves. Jones comes in for Jeff Teague.
Mind the lanes. Mind the lanes. One shot.
The free throw drops for Towns. And Damian Lillard said he's committed to finishing his career in Portland, title or not. He's invested in this franchise.
Team first, that helps all the players buy in. And new additions have to fall in line with the example he set. He said the culture won't change because he won't allow it to happen.
Here's Stauskas. He's averaging a bit over 5 points a game. On its way from Curry for 2. That one wide left.
Wasted opportunity. That's a good chance right there for an easy 2 on the open jumper.
Rose, good.
The assist totals, Kevin, just continue to grow. They're way ahead in that category. Ball movement has been flawless.
Now here's Harkless. 8 points for him. They set the pick. Collins, a screen on Rose. Here's Stauskas. Yes, that goes in. Stauskas has got his second bucket tonight.
Did anybody see any defensive presence on that play? I mean, he's not going to blow that layup. It was wide open.
Minnesota leading by 23. Rose kicks to Zhang. He feeds it to Wiggins. To the paint. It's stolen by Curry. Here's Stauskas. It's rebounded by Towns. Towns has got 11 rebounds in the game. Here's Wiggins. That one no good. Now Portland takes it the other way. Harkless dishes to Curry. Here's Swanigan. Zhang defending. Collins, a screen on Jones. And the rejection by Towns. Out to the right wing. Back to Jones. No good with the triple. And for Portland, their shooting has been a little ragged, just 38% from the field. And the foul on Andrew Wiggins. That is his first foul of the game. Patton, he's checked in for the Timberwolves. Tolliver comes in for Wiggins. Minnesota on D. Stauskas kicks to Curry. There's a screen. Back to Stauskas from downtown. Good, and Curry gets the assist. Curry's got 3 assists in the game.
And really, the defense didn't do a lot to fight around that screen on that possession.
Now here's Jones. 7 points in the game. Zhang with a screen on Curry. Jones kicks to Rose. Shot clock at 5. There's the feed to Tolliver. Over Harkless. Tolliver, no luck. Now here's Curry. And here's Stauskas from the arc. A second chance effort. He lays it in.
That's the way to attack. Get it into the post and go to work.
Timberwolves leading by 18. There's the pick. Rose kicks to Zhang. Back to Rose. Here's Jones. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. Well, there are a lot of players who seemingly have ice in their veins when the game is on the line. They do not blink. When you think about those kind of players, who might be the most mentally tough in the league right now?
Well, it's so hard to tell who really is mentally tough because you don't know what these guys are thinking. But I know who looks like just cold stone, just merciless players out there, and that's Kawhi Leonard, because
Yes.
you never know. You know, Kawhi is a nice guy, but, you know, he'll shoot a shot that'll end the game and then just give you such a cold look. And I think Isaiah Thomas is that way. I mean, I think so many players, of course, LeBron, Curry have been that way their whole career, but Kawhi Leonard seems to be that next coming of ice in his veins.
First free throw is good. And so Jones nails both of them.
I love the complementary aspect of this group now. You know, you've got the young talent, but you've brought in some veteran leadership here for the Timberwolves. The duo of Wiggins and Karl Anthony Towns kind of gave the confidence to them to go out and acquire a superstar in his prime like Jimmy Butler.
Here is Tolliver. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. Curry against Jones. Curry passes to Harkless. Stauskas dishes to Harkless. Tries from 10. Here's Swanigan. And terrific work on the offensive glass, and he picks up 2.
Well, we've seen that movie a few times, haven't we? An easy bucket in the paint.
To the wing right side. Patton the pass to Tolliver. No good from outside. And Greg, the core of this Timberwolves team is Wiggins and Towns. And, you know, rarely do you get to see 2 #1 overall picks team up early in their careers.
And how about back-to-back years, no less. But I consider Jimmy Butler kind of a foundational piece as well. He's in the conversation for the best shooting guard in our league.
Here is Rose after the made shot from Mo Harkless. Rose kicks to Zhang. It's good. This time the assist from Rose. Rose has got 4 assists in the game.
Just look at what a sniper he is from long range. He's got such an unusual skill for a big fella.
Here's Stauskas. 7 points in the game. There's a good screen. It's Curry with the drive. A strong finish under heavy pressure all over. Curry's got 5.
And now you see them starting to really work the ball inside.
8-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. And Jones has it in the corner. It's blocked. Here's Stauskas. He's covered by Rose. Curry on the wing. 17-foot shot on the way.
Off target with was what? A pretty good look from mid-range.
And so it's Minnesota out in front by 17 points at the end of the quarter. They've got their field goal percentage to thank for that. They've been hot from all over the floor tonight. Right back after this break. And let's listen to head coach Terry Stotts review the game plan with his guys.
Just make simple passes. We got him caught trying to make a great pass out of the simple pass.
Great communicator. Terry Stotts always teaching and developing his guys.
And he likes that they're playing unselfishly, that they're willing to pass, but take some mustard off the hot dog.
And we're rolling here again with the fourth quarter. Might not come down to the wire, but you never know. We've got Anthony Tolliver batting out there with Zhang. Then there's Jimmy Butler. And it's Rose in at the point. So that's the Timberwolves 5. It's stolen by Curry. Fast break. Here come the Trailblazers. Here's Lillard. Jimmy Butler comes up with the rebound. Minnesota leading by 17. Here's Patton. Oh, and there's the one-handed jam.
And Rose, an explosive scorer, but he's always been a very capable passer at the point.
Curry kicks to Stauskas. There's the pick. Lillard outside. 5 to shoot. Collins a screen on Zhang. Outside for Curry. Launches a 3. Sinks the triple.
A good look there, and he didn't waste it. His second 3 of the game.
Curry's gone 2 of 5 from beyond the arc so far. Outside Butler. In the corner, it's Zhang. Tried to come right back with the 3 of his own, but it's no good. Here's Lillard. Count it. And with that basket, he's now 9 of 15 from the floor.
Well, look at how quickly Lillard leaps out in transition. He wants to run down the throat of the D, burn him in the open floor.
And here's Rose. Jang dishes to Butler. Rebound by the Trailblazers.
He operates well in traffic, but still, that's just a tough play to finish.
Curry kicks to Lillard. At the top of the key, Stauskas. They set the pick. Pass to Curry. Takes a shot at the elbow. Again, Curry missing.
And you know what? He's just not on his game, no doubt about it. Their deficit isn't totally on him, but he has not been an asset for his team.
Tolliver, no luck.
Well, you see the struggles he's having getting anything to go.
Yeah, but at the same time, you know if he can just break through this cold streak, he can give you what you need.
Shot by Collins, no good. Minnesota leading by 14. Outside Rose. Butler in the corner. Hatton. That one, no good. So the Trailblazers will take it the other way. Next matchup, they'll be home against the Suns. And that's the first game in a string of 3 straight at home. Rose against Lillard. Outside Curry. Offensive rebound.
They've cashed in on a lot of second chance opportunities here in the second half. That extra effort will help them cut into this deficit.
Minnesota calls timeout. And Chris, power forwards today shoot a lot more three-pointers. If you played today, I think you'd be incredibly effective in that role. How do you think you'd be in that role?
Oh, yeah, I think that that's something I would have definitely had fun and relished in. I did shoot threes a couple of seasons in Washington and was pretty successful at that, but the style of play was just so different then. Big men were asked to stay in the post, and there was a lot more work in the post, a lot more pressure on the big guy to get to the free throw line to wear down the defense. So the whole game was different then. The big man kind of ruled the game. Today it's a point guard's game, and so what's great is I'd have to step out to give the point guard a lot more room to drive, to take a shot blocker away, or because there aren't any shot blockers. And so I definitely would love to hang out in that corner and shoot that easy three, or at the top after a pick and roll and pop right back. That would have been a lot of fun. Plus, it would give you freedom, because when you can shoot that Jimmy like that and you got a nice wet jump shot, it allows that pump fake to work all day. So I would have pump fake a lot from that three-point line and dunked on a lot of people. So that would have been fun to have that freedom as they do today. Just like it's fun watching these young guys let it fly from that three-point line.
Okay, well, let's go down to David Aldridge for a report from the sideline.
Hey, Kevin. Well, during the break, I heard Tom Thibodeau as he talked with the team. He told them, put your foot on their neck. Take it to them. I want to see you guys slow it down out there, use the clock, and stay away from silly fouls. Let's see if they can execute the plan, guys.
Here's Teague. Al Farouk Amino picking up that last basket. Butler goes in. Gibson passes to Wiggins. Teague for three. Timberwolves working now with the new shot clock. Butler against McCollum. Puts up a three. Butler, no good.
One made three for him for the game. Does he focus closer in? Let's see.
So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up.
One of the most skilled offensive players in the game. C.J. McCollum has all the moves you want.
And C.J. McCollum with a point guard's handle. He can attack with either hand.
He transitions cleanly into his pull-up jumper. With that quick high release, almost no time to recover.
Two shots. Relax on the first.
Free throw good. McCollum.
Yeah, and C.J. McCollum mostly plays at that off-guard spot with the Blazers, but on a lot of teams, you could see him as the lead guard. I mean, 6'3" in height, and his handles are elite.
And so McCollum nails both of them. And C.J. McCollum can step into that point guard role very comfortably.
Yeah, I mean, he keeps it on a string going right or left. A terrific ball handler. Calling him a secondary ball handler is almost not doing him justice. And still varying opinions out there of what Andrew Wiggins can and can't do. But one thing that's indisputable, he's an incredible scorer. Whether it half-court transition, he can flat out fill it up in a hurry.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. Roof shots.
Free throw good, Wiggins. And Wiggins, his young career just getting better and better at scoring, Greg, while increasing his workload.
Yeah, and very few scorers can do that, especially from that 2-guard spot. Wiggins has that special talent where he can flat out carry an offense. Scary to think that this is a kid who is just scratching the surface.
He hits both from the stripe. Trailblazers trail by 12. And Lillard kicks to Turner. Back to Lillard. It's stolen by T. In the corner, it's Wiggins. Again, Wiggins missing. Portland's gotten just 1 of 4 3-pointers to go down for them here in the 4th. McCollum with the screen for Lillard. Screen by Nurkic. Aminu with the screen on Butler. Just 5 on the clock. Aminu with a screen for Turner. Over Gibson. Hits the front of the rim and out.
He gets some extra attention from the D on that trip, and he throws the shot off.
Wiggins dishes to Gibson. That falls. Nice feed that time from Wiggins.
It really does make the game easy for your teammates when you can lead them to the rim that well with a pass.
Nurkic setting the pick for Turner. Over Wiggins. Here's Nurkic. He kicks it to Turner. Butler with the steal. Wiggins passes to Butler. Foul on the play. Basket counts, so it'll be a 3-point play chance.
Yeah, and Butler just can't be stopped. I mean, even when the D knocks him around, he keeps his focus on the basket.
Rumors about Butler being traded from Chicago were circulating last season. Draft day comes around, and the Minnesota Timberwolves made their move, Greg, to acquire him.
Yeah, and the more you look at it, the trade looks great for Butler and the Wolves. Reunites him with Coach Thibodeau, joins an incredibly young core in Towns and Wiggins, and the sky's the limit, I think, for this young Wolves team.
Free throw, good Butler.
Well, the Blazers' offense is based on flow and movement. A lot of screens off the ball creating openings for their shooters.
Guys, they're looking for a spark here.
Yeah, a cold stretch offensively for sure.
Nurkic kicks to Lillard. And no good. The dry spell continuing for him. And the Blazers, one of the better offensive teams in the league. Very unpredictable.
Well, they keep the defense moving and reacting. They keep the weak side occupied, not stagnant, with a lot of isolation or post-ups.
And, Greg, you wouldn't expect it from a Coach Thibodeau team, but defense was an issue for the Timberwolves last year.
And the Wolves brought in Butler to help with offense, but more importantly, his defense. And Butler, familiar with what Thibs likes to do on both ends of the floor, has the leadership the team needs, particularly on the defensive end.
That one is off.
And not a single free throw attempt in that first half, but he has been far more active since the break and drawn some fouls.
And he's good on the second. Trailblazers trail by 18. He dishes it to McCollum. Butler with the steal. Gibson passes to Wiggins. Towns high post. Now Teague. Pass to Wiggins. The kick outside to Butler. That doesn't go either for Butler.
A frustrating start to this quarter for him.
Here's Turner. Again, the miss by the Trailblazers.
Not sure what the D was doing there. Clearly a breakdown. You can ill afford to give a guy like him that good a look.
T kicks to Butler. Outside Gibson. Over Aminu. And he can't bank that one in. Passes it to Lillard. That falls. Nice feed that time from Turner. Lillard's got 5 points in the quarter.
He is a dangerous outside shooter, and if you leave him open, he can bury them consistently.
Teague with the ball. Butler on the wing. Good work defensively by Turner. Trailblazers trail by 15. Screen by Nurkic. Here's Lillard, and Gibson sends it back.
And Gibson just out here to play hard defense, showing great awareness coming up there with that block.
And when he gets his points within the flow of the offense, that efficiency has helped them build this lead.
Portland's gone a disappointing 2 of 6 on three-point attempts here in the fourth. There's the pick, and Lillard kicks to Turner. Nurkic setting the pick for Turner. From 13, and the shot no good, a bit short. Timberwolves leading by 17. Wiggins outside. The kick outside to Butler. Good on the triple. Butler's got 23.
And good passing, setting up a lot of these buckets right now, Kevin. That's been the key.
Lillard dishes to Turner. Nurkic setting the pick for Turner. And the game and the culture of basketball has so many subsets. One of those is the basketball shoe culture, the sneaker culture. Players competing almost as much, Chris, for style points as they are for actual points.
Oh, yeah, you know, and I love to say that I was part of that culture, you know, with the black socks and with some different shoes that I've had at the NBA. It's a lot of fun, man. It's just something that your fans can relate to. It's something personal. It shows a personal side of what you have, your type of design. So, you know, you're very fortunate if you get your own kick deal, and I was fortunate. It's a lot of fun, and the fans love it.
Time called here. The Blazers decide to talk it over. And talk about the Blazers players. They talk a lot about the work ethic of this team.
Well, the work ethic of this team starts with number 0, Damian Lillard. He makes sure that it's a competitive environment. A lot of these young players, though, are looking to prove themselves. In the gym, before and after practice, they're challenging one another.
And now the presentation of our Jordan Player of the Game, Karl Anthony Towns.
And, guys, it's been a rugged brand of defense he's played. I don't know why they keep taking the ball at him. It seems like every time they have, he's come up with the rejection. And with every block, he's only gotten more and more fired up.
The better he played, the more these fans got revved up. And that continued to play out over the course of his amazing performance. Gibson with the steal. Teague against Lillard. Outside Teague. Kicks it out to Gibson. That falls. Nice feed that time from Wiggins. Wiggins has got assist number 11 for him here tonight. Portland's gone a disappointing 2 of 6 on three-point attempts here in the fourth. They set the screen. Kicks it to McCollum. Nurkic a screen on Butler. It's McCollum with the drive. Nurkic the pass to McCollum. Just 4 to shoot. Three-pointer Lillard. Good on the three-point shot. Lillard's got 11 in the second half.
You better play up on Lillard at all times, especially when the pass is coming his way. You got to know he's ready to shoot once he catches it.
There's the pass to Butler. Now the dish to Towns. Shoots over Nurkic. Towns, no luck. Trailblazers trail by 21. McCollum right side. And another three for Portland.
McCollum is incredibly dangerous from outside. Awesome at finding available spaces. He shoots it with ease.
Outside Teague. Towns the screen. Teague kicks to Butler. Teague drives in. That one doesn't go. Now Portland takes it the other way.
And guys, what we saw here tonight is one side having everything going for them. Huge margin of victory for the Timberwolves.
This was a very efficient offense tonight.
And they found a way to get their shots to go down. A little luck didn't hurt. A lot of their 50-50 shots fell their way.
And with this win, they'll end up notching another victory for this year's campaign, win number 33.
And as we get set to put this one to bed, a one-sided season series thus far, they've won 2 straight.
And something we've come to almost expect is greatness from this guy. Such an overall great performance it was for Karl Anthony Towns.
He came out and let everyone know that points would be hard to come by with the way he swatted away shots and protected the rim.
Here is Lillard after Jimmy Butler made that last three-pointer. Again, the miss by the Trailblazers. And guys, they can just sit on the ball here if they want to.
They have earned this win.
McCollum against Teague. And so it's the Timberwolves taking care of business here. They poured it on tonight. Dominant showing in front of a crowd that loved every minute of it.
And, you know, this game could really be a defining one for what they can do when they are playing at their best. I mean, being here at home no doubt helps, and the execution was flawless.
It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Hey, Kevin, thank you. Andrew, an impressive win for you guys. How will you look back on tonight?
I feel it was great, I think the whole team played great. We shared the ball, we grabbed rebounds, we made big possessions, so I think it was a great game.
Hey, Andrew, congrats again. Thanks for your time. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, thank you. And that's going to do it tonight, folks, for our broadcast. For Chris Webber, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. And we'll see you next time.